Hey guys, it's Jim. What's happening? Hope you're having a great holiday season. Thanks for tuning in. I thought I was done with videos for the year, but I'm just slipping one in here under the wire. And this one's about Aurora HDR because I was looking back at all the stuff I've been creating for YouTube, which is really, there's a lot in the last few months. And it's pretty much the last, not pretty much, exactly the last 25 videos are all about Luminar. And so this video is to just let you know that I did not forget about Aurora HDR. I love the product. I still use it. I still build HDRs all the time. I still fire brackets every time I shoot. I've just spent so much time on Luminar with the launch of that product, which came right on the heels of the launch of Aurora HDR, that I just got all into Luminar. And then I did the tutorial series, and then I did some other videos. And anyway, I just got all Luminar'd up. And I still love it, and I'm still going to keep doing it. In fact, I've got another series I'm planning, and I'm going to start in January. So come back for that. But I wanted to pop into Aurora HDR because, you know, I didn't forget about it, but I frankly sort of forgot how much I love it because it's a great product. So I'm going to dive in and take a couple of photos and edit them real quick and just show you how great it is. In case you're like me and you've been playing with Luminar a lot, don't forget to dive back into Aurora. And if you don't have it, click the link below and get yourself a copy, or at the very least, download a trial and check it out. Okay, so let's talk about this stuff. Let's dive into a couple of photos here. Okay, so this first one, this is a set of brackets I took in New York at the end of October. I was up there for the PPE show, Photo Plus Expo. I was working the Skyloom/MacFun booth. And even though I was in New York, which is a great city to shoot, I barely had any time to shoot. We had a photo walk one night and I got out and shot. So here's a set of brackets and I want to show you what they look like. So there's the middle and there's the bright, right? So bright, medium, and dark. You can see the people here, like this gentleman and what appears to be his son crossing the street. This lady here, they're walking, and you can see how they move. And you can also probably tell as I flip through these that the three photos don't line up. And that's because I shot it handheld and I'm twitchy. So another great thing about Aurora. So let me kill that. And then this is a photo I took on Christmas Eve. We were up in the Texas Hill Country, and it's some rusty old stuff, which is so much fun to shoot in HDR. So there it is. Again, handheld. You can see that these three don't line up. Now there's nothing moving. There was no wind or anything, but the photos didn't line up, but they will in Aurora. So let's dive in and let's edit some stuff. Okay, so here we are in the New York. Now I've already brought this into Aurora. There's the before, which is the middle exposure, and there's the after, which is the blended. You can see this this gentleman and his son here have perfectly lined up. This lady's perfectly lined up. So that's the beauty of Aurora. It's really good at that stuff. There's not really a whole lot I would do to this photo, to be honest. I would take the temperature down a little bit, change the tint, maybe a little smart tone, take down a little bit of the highlights, maybe increase that HDR enhance a little bit, and a little bit more contrast. I'd probably give a little bit of structure here. So this is just to bring up some of that grittiness, because HDR is good at that. But also, to me, this is New York. Now, if it's a skyline reflected in water, I want to be a little bit gentle with the structure. But if it's a street scene like this, all this stuff in the foreground, the street, some of the buildings, I just like to jack it up. So that's what I'm doing. A little bit of structure there. I'm going to give a little bit of image radiance, which gives it a little bit of that romantic glow. And actually, to me, is a sort of a counterpoint to the structure. It sort of offsets some of that intensity, which I like, and adds a little bit of that romantic glow, as I said, which I think is important. And it's a look I like a lot in my nighttime cityscapes because, you know, they can be bright. I mean, they don't get brighter than New York, but they can also be kind of gently glowing and kind of romantic looking or whatever. And whenever you have all these kind of neon signs and all this stuff going on, I like to do that because it also, as you can see, let me turn off that filter. There's the before image radiance and there's the after. It adds a little bit of that glow to me, is also a little bit of shadow, which I like. It creates a little bit, you know, a little bit more mystery, which a lot of people use HDR to completely illuminate a scene. And while I've done that, and I'm sure I'll do it again, I often like to add back in things like image radiance because that will give you a little bit more shadow. And I think it's, you know, it leaves a little bit to the imagination for the viewer, which I think is a good deal. And then I'd probably top this off with a vignette. And, you know, something about like that, maybe a little bit of inner brightness. But I think that's probably about all that I do with the photo. So here's the before. There's the after. One more time, before and after, and a split screen, before and after. You can see we changed the color tones a bit. I brought up more of the kind of the, with the temperature and the tint slider up here in the HDR basic panel. I brought more of that blue and pink, which I like a lot. It may not be your look, and you certainly don't have to use it, but there's the base photo. City lights give off a yellow glow all the time. And a lot of the neon is kind of yellow and orange and stuff, so it creates a lot of that color cast in the image. I love to use temperature and tint to sort of pull that out and put back in the look that I like. Again, you may not like it, that's fine, but that's what I did and why. So last time, before and after, and that's a quick and easy HDR. I'm going to do one more and then we'll be done. So hang with me 1 second. Okay, thanks for hanging with me. So here's your base HDR photo. There's the middle exposure, and then there's the blended final photo. So, well, not final, it's the blended base HDR. Once again, handheld, and so in that case, when I merge the brackets, I check the box for alignment because I want them to align. And as you can see, it does a great job. Everything's lined up perfectly. So let's go ahead and hop into the editing. Now, I don't have a real plan here. I'm just kind of, for lack of a better word, kind of jacking around, just trying to see what kind of look I can come up with. I did edit this photo on my own a couple of days ago, but I gotta be honest, I don't remember what I did. So I'm just gonna kind of play around and you're gonna see how it ends up. Hopefully it looks good. Otherwise you're gonna say, hey, why did I watch this video? Okay, so I'm gonna add a little bit of structure. And in this case, you know, I'm applying structure across the whole photo. I don't really need it over here, but I don't really care because all that's kind of immaterial to me. I am gonna use top and bottom tuning. And I'm going to set the orientation. I'm going to twist this guy a little bit and move this over here, something about like that. And then on the top, I'm going to take the exposure down. So maybe something about like that. Just because I'm going to click set orientation, I want to darken that part of the photo. So let me show you what that did. There's the before and there's the after. I think that draws more attention to the truck because let's be honest, the truck is freaking cool. And that's what I care about in the photo. I like the sign there, but the truck is the deal. And when it was like that, before I added that top and bottom tuning, it was a little too bright behind the truck. I think that looks better and helps focus the attention on the truck. I'm gonna go give it a little bit more structure just because I can, maybe a little micro structure. And then I'm gonna go into the colors here into HSL. I think it's, believe it or not, and this is me talking, a little too colorful in the oranges. I'm going to take that down, and if you notice, there's a little bit of blue in the sky and this building, which is really kind of a faded, beat-up, wooded, wooden wood, I guess. I don't know what the hell you call it. Anyway, the siding is wood, but it's kind of picked up a blue cast, and I'm going to drop the blue. So basically dropping blue across the whole photo because I don't really want any blue in it. It doesn't really fit. I think that's about it, really. Again, I might add a vignette here. Again, I'm kind of winging it. I don't, you know, I'm going to skip the vignette. I don't really care about that. I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to try one more thing, and that is I'm going to look through my presets. And so I do that a lot is, and not just my presets, but, you know, after I've done my edits, I'll add a new adjustment layer like this, and then I'll go open presets, and I'll go see what I got here. So there's a number of great presets built in. I've got my own Bella Italia set and my Road Tripper set. Let me pop in here into Road Tripper because a lot of the Road Tripper ones were from my road trip this past summer. A lot of Route 66 and that kind of stuff. So there was just a whole lot of grungy kind of stuff. And I think I've got one in here. Yeah, running on empty. That looks, well, it's pretty intense. No, I think I'm going to skip that one. Here, how about this rusted and busted? So I think I would take that intensity down a little bit. So I'm like at, you know, I don't know, maybe 40. Let me see that before and after. There's the before. There's the after. Really not a big change. Let me see if there's anything else I like. Neon in the Storm. That actually looks pretty cool. It brought back some of the blue. But I could come in here, take that intensity down. This is what I think I'll do. And then on this preset, go in here and make an adjustment with the HSL and just take that blue down because I don't want the blue in there. But I think it added a little bit to the photo. Here's the, without that layer, which has the preset with that turned off, so no preset, and then back on. So slightly different, not a big difference, but let me show you the before and the after. And here's a split screen before and after. You can see we've come a long way in just a short time. But really what I did is I brought up some of the colors, and I see something else I need to do. I'm going to take this magenta and purple down because a little too intense there, like on this fender. So I think that looks better. Okay, one more time. Before and after, before and after. So it's kind of grungy, but I mean, this is a beat up, rusted old truck. I mean, you expect it to be grungy, and that's half the fun of shooting it. And that's why I go shoot it, because I love to just get photos like this and just, you know, jack up the details and some of the colors and just have fun. So I think that's what I would do. But there you go, before and after. So that's really it. Just a hopefully quick video, 2 different HDR photos. Just wanted to remind you, Aurora HDR is awesome. I still use it all the time. If you haven't downloaded a copy, you can get one at that link, a trial. And if you want to buy it, use my coupon code JimNix and save $10. It's on special through the end of the year, so you got a couple of days or so. And that's it. I'll be back in January. I've got a whole bunch of stuff for Luminar planned. I've got some other things I want to do in Aurora HDR as well. If you have any suggestions of things you'd like to see, leave a comment. And by the way, while you're at it, please like the video, share it with your friends, and hit subscribe. I got a lot of stuff planned in the new year. I've had a hell of a good time in 2017 recording these videos. Really sincerely and super much, if that's even a word, appreciate you stopping by and subscribing and all that stuff these years. It's literally made a difference. And I really appreciate it. So thank you very much for your support. I'll be back soon in January, so I'll see you next year. Have a great one, and adios.